Cedar Point is my home park. I've visited well over 70 times over the past 4 years, so I think I know the park pretty well. With Cedar Point opening in 2 weeks, I thought it would be useful to give out some tips and tricks I use while at the park. These are Cedar Point tips and tricks to maximize productivity in your day. Before we get into the video, let me just say 2 things. I got the idea from Beach Cliff Studios, so make sure to check this channel out. The second thing is that I will not include any tips involving the pandemic because Cedar Point has announced that this year will be normal compared to 2020. This means no masks outside, full trains, and no access passes. So there will be no tips and tricks for the pandemic. With that said, let's hop into tips and tricks before entering the park. Before entering Cedar Point, you should know a few things. The first major tip is that you should not park in the front parking lot. The top 4 best rides in the park are in the back half of the park. These are Steel Vengeance, Top Thrill Dragster, Millennium Force, and Maverick. Park in the resort parking lot. On the left side of the front parking lot, there is a small road wrapping around the park. This road provides some incredible views of the lake and the coasters on the boundary of the park. After the scenic drive is the parking lot near Magnum. This will also be the road you take to the hotel or the water park, but more tips on that in a minute. All around Ohio are gas stations and stores that have discounts on tickets. There are also deals on the Cedar Point website that could be used to your advantage. If you're going to spend more than 1 day at the park, you could always buy a 2-day ticket. These are cheaper than buying 2 separate tickets. I also recommend buying tickets online, as these are a lot cheaper than in person. But if you are staying for more than 1 day at the park, I recommend staying at one of the Cedar Point hotels. Hotel Breakers is expensive, but worth it in the end. It gives free access to Cedar Point Shores, has front door access to both parks and the beach, and is a great hotel. It is in a beautiful location, and if you stay at the hotel, you get early entry along with the Platinum Pass holders. This grants guests an extra hour at the park, which will be useful for the layout tips and tricks coming up. I do recommend staying more than 1 day at the park, as even with fast lanes, it is difficult to get all the coaster credits, especially if you want to ride something more than once. 2 days or more will get you the full Cedar Point experience and will allow you to explore this wonderful park. If you are rushing around the entire day trying to ride everything, you won't have a great time, so definitely stay for a couple of days if you can. For pass holders or hotel guests, try to arrive early to the park, around 8:30 in order to do early entry. For ticket holders, get to the park around 9:30. Another tip is that right past the entrance in the back are clean restrooms in the back hotel entrance. This isn't that far away, so use the restrooms here if necessary. Now let's jump into the layout tips and tricks. Unlike Kings Island, for Cedar Point, early entry and ticket holders have 2 different layouts that are the best. Let's start with the early entry layout. As soon as you enter the park, you want to rush down to Steel Vengeance. If you are quick enough, you should get to the ride in about 5 minutes and will have no wait. This gets the busiest ride out of the way right off the bat. After Vengeance, hop on Maverick, which is right across the path. That is the 2 most crowded coasters out of the way. It should be about 9:25 at this point if you have an hour of early entry. If you are a gold passer, use the second layout I will give, which is the same as the ticket holders, because if you arrive for your early entry, which is 30 minutes before the park opens, you will not be able to ride anything in the back half of the park. Now for the hour early entry, walk Frontier Trail up to Millennium Force. This should get you on the 3rd busiest coaster at about 9:45. Finally, Dragster opens at 10, so head there right after Millie. It should be a walk-on. If it isn't open, then head to Valraven. Dragster is usually never closed for the entire day, so you should be good. Now, if you are a ticket holder or a gold passer, the layout is very similar except for one change. Do not go to Steel Vengeance at the beginning of the day. Go to Maverick first, and then continue the layout. Steel Vengeance by this point will already have about a 60-minute wait, and you do not want to use your time up. For Steel Vengeance, wait till the end of the day, near closing, when the line is shorter and you have a chance for a night ride. After Dragster or Valraven for either layout, I recommend getting the rest of the coasters in the back of the park. The front is always busy until around 1 o'clock, so that's when you'll hit up those front 4 coasters. Now let's jump into other ride tips and tricks. Cedar Point is full of rides that are necessary you experience. There are lots of thrill rides and smaller attractions that provide unique thrills. Max Air is a great flat ride and provides some great and unique views of the surrounding area. This is the same with Windseeker. Windseeker provides a peaceful experience around the waters of Lake Erie. There are also some other flats around, such as Power Tower and Skyhawk. 2 transport rides are great to hop on. These are Skyride, which provides great views of the main midway, and the Railroad, which provides unique views behind some of the best rides in the park. There are also many small flats around the park that provide a large thrill for their size. Pipe Scream is always a fun time, and so is Linus's Beetlebugs. Don't miss the flat ride at Cedar Point. Some can get long lines, but Max Air is one where the line moves very quickly, so don't be afraid to line up if the queue looks long. With its massive capacity, it will fly by. This is the same with Windseeker. Which stores and restaurants are the best at Cedar Point? There are a few stores around the park that are great. I find a lot of Merchant Point Plaza, a store right at the front gate. Another great store for coaster-related merch is the Pagoda, which is being renamed soon. This is the last building on the right side of the midway. With 2 levels, it has a lot of great coaster shirts. Most major coasters have a store right off the exit ramp, so if you are looking for something specific, stop by. As for restaurants, I think Hugo's Italian is always a safe bet. It has the best pizza in the park and has a great interior and is almost never busy. Another good stop is the Roost near Raptor, and you have to try Cedar Point fresh cut fries with the garlic parmesan sauce. It is the best fries at a theme park I've ever had. If you are looking for something a bit healthier, you can always go to Subway. The final category for tips is the other category. These tips don't land in any category, so let's get started. Something you shouldn't miss at Cedar Point is the beach. It is a great way to cool down on a hot summer day, and during Cedar Point nights in July and August, there are tons of games, including cornhole and giant Jenga. Cedar Point Shores isn't the best water park, but it is in a stunning location along the shores of the lake. There are also wild animals to see, which provide some great shots near Millennium Force. There are a few hidden paths to take to get some fantastic views of the park. The biggest hidden path is down by Steel Vengeance. Taking a right at the entrance leads to a small path that is usually used in Hollow Weekends for a scare zone. It is never roped off, so it provides great views. Another spot is in the Fork by Iron Dragon near Scrambler. At a specific angle, Valraven actually spells out the word Ohio. The Immelman makes an O, the 2 drops make an H, the Airtime Hill makes an I, and the Dive Loop makes an O. It is a unique site in the park. My final tip of the video is to take advantage of the multiple entrances located around the park. If you want to go to the beach or leave the park for a bit, you can take one of the 4 entrances: the front gate, the resort gate, the Windseeker entrance, and the Valraven gate. These could also be used for shortcuts. If you want to quickly get from Magnum to Gatekeeper, for example, just exit by the resort and walk the beach path up to the Windseeker gate. They can be used to your advantage. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you will be able to use these tips at your next visit to the park. Please leave a like and consider subscribing for more content like this. Comment below what tips you use and email me with questions or concerns. Have a great rest of your day.